Alright, this is my round 4 game in the Dublin Chess Open. At this point, I'm 1 win, 2 losses. And actually, the night before this, I went and got slammed at a local pub. Stayed out till about 4:30 in the morning. I was drinking with the guy I played with in the first round in the Stafford Gambit. I had a fun time. But 3 hours of sleep coming into this game. I felt ready to basically just go to war and have a crazy battle. No nerves at all. Just wanted to play a fun game of chess, and that's why I decided to open with b4. Not a common way to play, but a fun way to play, honestly, in my opinion. He played his knight out. Just pretty simple idea. Just getting out of the way of this any shenanigans going along this diagonal. And I just he played here, looking to go here in castle. And I had an idea forming to find ways to attack this predetermined idea of bishop here in castle, but got a little afraid and didn't play it, and I actually played here first. Take a little bit of space in the center and open up this bishop and allow it to be a participant in the game. And he went here as expected, and this is when I strike out with a dubious move, g4, playing b4 and g4 early in the game, 4 moves in. It's not recommended by a lot of players, but I think the move is justified in some sense. I guess its big drawback is it'll never be able to go back. Can go back to these squares, so we see how that becomes a factor in the game. And my opponent calls the bluff, just castles, says I'm not afraid of this pawn storm at all. I was surprised to see castle, honestly, but here I don't know if I played the best move. What did I play? Oh yeah, I just developed a knight. I thought it was okay. I figured he wanted to go for a move like d5, which he did. Striking in the center at least puts a hold on this a little bit. But then I kind of realized that the bishop hits the pawn, knight hits the pawn, and that's kind of a little dangerous. I could have played here. But this is a little ugly. I need to do something to protect this pawn, so instead I just push and attack the knight. I think is okay. Maybe not the best way. Like, again, this pawn is never going to come back. My king is getting a little weak by extending it like that. And he just simply jumps in. Because if I take, he takes the bishop. And it's a little bit annoying. My knight hangs, my rook hangs. So, not an easy way to deal with that. And at the same time, he's actually hitting this pawn, which is kind of what I missed in this calculation. I assumed like if the knight were to move, the knight would jump there to that's when it was confusing, but I wasn't in the best frame of mind, obviously, having drank 100 beers the night before, but yeah, so I had to do something about this pawn here, and I think the common idea would just play here to get ready once this knight can be removed, but I got a little afraid of this e5 idea no matter what I play, and I decided it would probably be a better idea to have a little hold in the center with f4, but I think this is not the right idea because he does play e5, and my king is just getting a little weak here. I mean, this is just not pretty, and I'm still a long way from castling either way, and I just didn't really think I was in a good spot here. Knew I wasn't playing accurately at this point, so I still had some hope. You know, I still have a little bit of stuff going. I took the knight, relieved that pressure, hit that, and then I think here was my first big mistake. I didn't want to take, and I honestly don't know why. I guess takes there's here, and that looks a little ugly too. Queen's ready to check, and now this is double hits, so that was kind of off the table, but I just didn't see a good way to develop any of my pieces. The queen is gonna block here. Here gets taken, here gets taken, here gets taken. Queen doesn't really have a good space to go. And I kind of panicked. I guess maybe here would have been good, or anything except what I played, which was bishop c4. Because, yeah, it's pinning, it develops this piece, and, like, it looks like I'm now a little bit closer to the castling around. Now I can play here because it won't be blocking my bishop in. But he just takes, and I have to take with the bishop first, because here if I take back, he just takes. So, yeah, once he takes, I have to take the bishop. King takes, and then I take back, and he just has queen d6 hitting both these pawns. And yeah, at this point, I knew I was in trouble for sure. It doesn't look like I really want to castle either way. His bishop's ready to come alive. His knight's ready to come and play. His rook's ready to slide to either file. And I have nothing. What I have a bishop staring into nothing. I figured defending this pawn was more crucial. Didn't want to let the queen in here. So I defended it with the knight. He takes here. Drop my bishop out of danger. And yeah, as you can see, this is getting pretty ugly. I still think the engine says I'm like surviving here. Even throughout most of this, it says I'm surviving. It wasn't until the next couple moves that things went from really bad to even worse. He plays rook here, already looking at ideas of this and exploiting this pin on the king. I wouldn't be able to push, I wouldn't be able to take. So I just played c3 here, kick out the queen. Queen drops back to d6, still putting a lot of pressure on this. Still looking at ideas of this. I get my queen out of the way. And yeah, this is when I had a little bit of hope for the position. Like maybe I can get my queen here and get in some attack. Maybe my knight can jump in. But I was really afraid he was going to play bishop here. But he opted for bishop here. Still looking to go here and hit the queen. I actually just slid out of the way here. And I started to get a little bit of hope. Like with a check and finding a way to get my queen in and simplify the game a little bit. And yeah, it turned out this wasn't the best plan because my opponent finds the best way forward, in my opinion. I think the engine gives it like the third best move, but to me, it's the best move. It's just knight here. And I think for me, the difference between going here is that this is an obstructed view. You still pressure the pawn this way. So when he goes here, the whole point is I can't stop the knight jumping here. Like there's nothing I can do about the knight going to jump there. And then on top of it, once it lands here, which it will, I'm not going to be able to stop the knight from going there. And yeah, as of right now, that's a fork on my king and queen. So I have to just envision a pony here within the next two moves, basically. And I realize that I'm losing pretty bad. And yeah, I mean, pretty much nothing else to do here but throw in the towel at some point. And I think the next move I played was really bad. And especially at this point, I think I was fighting the toilet more than my opponent. I mean, it was just not pretty. But I actually castled long, which makes no sense, honestly. I'm just still getting forked here by this idea. Like, I think Engine even said, like, right, like, as soon as I played the long castle, I'm like, why did I even do that? Like, I should have just castled short. I'm actually somehow safer over here because this pawn gets double protected now somehow. And even if, like, queen takes, I take, and, I mean, I jump here. At least there's something there. Like, something going there. But here's just horrible. He just jumps in with the knight. He's ready to land here. I can't even remember. I think oh, yeah, I checked. And then I moved my queen to where my pawn was. Doing absolutely nothing. Jumps in. And I mean, he just forced my pieces, and he's ready to discover check and hit this. I mean, it's just horrible. So I didn't know what to do, obviously. And I just pushed the pawn. And yeah, queen check. I go here hoping that takes is I'm down a pawn. I'm getting, this, but at least this is defended now. If it takes here, I take, and it's bad, but I could come back from this. And yeah, I don't know. I thought I at least had some hope, but opponent not stupid. He just takes the knight, and yeah, pretty much GG's. I thought for a little bit of how to continue, but I just ended the game in style with a bishop check. And yeah, I think my opponent pretty much knew I threw in the towel at this point. So after he takes, I was hoping for a check, and then him to go here, and then me to check, and him to go here, and me to check, and yeah, all that good stuff. But it didn't happen. Yeah, he actually just went here, and I don't even have a check. So I just resigned here. Pretty bad game, but including this bishop sack for literally no reason. The engine still gave me 75% accuracy, which is like a C minus performance, honestly, at a tournament game. But my opponent had 94% accuracy. Just really crushed me, honestly, punishing my hungover and overzealous opening to the fullest. Yeah, it's pretty much the whole gist of the game right there. But I think if we go back, like, I think this idea was fine. I just didn't execute it well. But what I really didn't think about is how easy my opponent's gameplay was from here until like literally the rest of the game. Like all his moves just make sense. And none of my moves were making sense at all about what the plan was. So I mean, I think it's just as simple as that. I should have thought about that a little harder before going crazy like that. And then here, I think the game would have went a lot differently if I just would have played here and let him take the center. I think then at least I would have been able to take, and these are at least doubled pawns. But you can't take back moves, you can't take back games, so we learned, and honestly, we came out with a smile on our face. We didn't beat ourselves up. 1 wins, 3 losses at this point, but my luck changes. I find some good strokes in the later games, so stay tuned.